High ping is one of the most frustrating things in Fortnite just because it's the only thing you can't really do anything to change. You can upgrade your PC, get fiber internet, optimize all you want, but if you live far from the server, your ping will be high. Well, unless you're a pro that can just buy a house in Texas. There have always been players able to perform even with high ping. And if we can't change it, we just have to learn how to make it work. Now when I say high ping, for some of you that only means 50 ping, but for others of you, that might mean 150 ping. That's why I'll be going in depth on each topic so you know how your ping affects your game. There are some things that work on 30 ping that just aren't possible on 150. The main one being taking walls. I'll often hear I'm high ping so I can't take walls, which was true at some point, but hasn't been for a long time. The way it works now is when you're turbo building, it tries to place a wall every 5 milliseconds. But whenever a build is just broken, nobody can replace it for 150 milliseconds, you nor the enemy. This is why any weapon with a fast enough fire rate can slip bullets through someone holding a wall. After those 150 milliseconds are up, anyone who tried to replace the wall during that time has an equal chance of getting it. So if you're holding your wall that gets broken, as long as you're under 145 ping, you'll always have equal odds of holding it. While this is true for holding walls, you will need lower ping to take walls because that's different. But in order to understand why, you have to first look at what does and doesn't cause ping delay in Fortnite. Ping delay is, as it sounds, a delay equal to your ping that happens before you take an action. For example, taking out a new weapon has ping delay, but jumping does not. So if you have 200 ping when you press your shotgun button, there are 200 milliseconds that pass before your gun starts to pull out. But when you jump, it happens immediately. Most things cause ping delay, but there are a few key actions that don't, and you have to make use of these when playing on high ping. So swapping to any inventory item, confirming edits, and even taking out your blueprint has ping delay. However, once you have your blueprint out, there is no ping delay to swap between build pieces. So you can build a stair, floor, cone, and wall all at the same time without waiting the ping delay between each. Each build placed is still delayed, but they can all be built at the same time rather than waiting for one before you can do the other. The best way to show the importance of this is with piece control. If you know someone is about to edit out the side of their box and you want to pre-box them, if you're low enough ping, you can place the wall, edit it, and then place the cones relatively quickly. But if you're like 100 ping, placing the wall and editing it takes at least 200 milliseconds extra before you can even try and place the cones. This is why it would be important for you to place the cones, then place and edit the wall last. That way you claim all 3 build pieces earlier, preventing your opponent from defending. Any high ping player should try and avoid going in and out of the build mode as much as possible. That taking out your pickaxe between builds, yeah, that's only for 0 ping players. We don't have that luxury. Every time you take out your pickaxe into your blueprint again, that's wasted time equal to however much ping you have. Now looking back at taking walls, remember it's an 150 millisecond window to try and place a build. But turbo build can take up to 5 milliseconds, and there's a ping delay when swapping from your pickaxe to your blueprint. And then another ping delay to actually place the build. So when taking walls, only players on 96 or less ping always have an equal chance to take the wall. If you're above that, there will be some players with low ping that you'll unfortunately never have a chance of taking a wall against. Now hold on, I know some of you with under 96 ping are thinking about all the times you tried to take someone's wall 4 times in a row and couldn't get it, but that's just how randomness works. Even if it's a true 50-50 every time, 1 in every 16 opponents will still be able to hold it 4 times in a row. And we all have negativity bias where you remember the time you couldn't take their wall, but you don't really keep track of all the times you took it first try. Now when trying to take a wall from someone without a cone in their box, is it better to try and slide a cone in at the same time, or does this make you less likely to get the wall? Well remember, it takes 5 milliseconds to turbo build each piece, and 1.5 times your ping to start placing builds after breaking the wall. So if you timed absolutely everything frame perfect, in theory, anything under 93 ping would have no problem with this. But in practice, it's more like 60 to 80 ping, so if you have less than 60 ping, going for the cone and wall at the same time definitely won't affect your likelihood of taking the wall, as long as you have good timing. But if you're over that, it might be harder to get the wall and cone in one try. It's still usually worth trying, since getting the wall doesn't mean much if they block with a stair, but there are some situations where getting the wall is the only thing that matters. Like if they're right up against the wall, the stair won't save them. I even tested it with my main PC on 30 ping versus an old laptop running 60 FPS connected through a VPN, so it has 120 ping. After over 100 trials, the results were still basically 50-50. Lower ping doesn't increase your chances. Now let's talk about building and editing on high ping, as this is what a lot of players struggle with. That means triple edits, retakes, piece control, etc. This is usually the most difficult part to learn because it's where you run into the most ping delay when you're waiting for your game to allow you to make your next move. So in order to overcome it, you first need to understand everything that causes this delay. So like I said earlier, taking out your blueprints causes the delay, but also every time you place a build and every time you confirm an edit. but there is no delay when starting an edit, or when selecting tiles. What this means for us is that you need to edit both faster and slower at the same time. It kinda sounds confusing, so look at this graphic. Usually players learn to edit and do it in a bit of a rhythm. Start the edit, select the tiles, then confirm. Edit, select, confirm. And when trying to get faster, naturally you try to speed it all up, but at some point if you're high ping, you have to stop speeding up because if you go too fast your inputs get ignored. You solve this problem by speeding up the parts that aren't impacted by ping delay. You can't speed up the delay after you confirm the edit, but you can go as fast as you want when you start an edit and select tiles. Think like the sound of a horse's gallop. It's not evenly spaced like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's in bursts. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. When you're doing it right, you want to see the actual tiles you're editing for as little time as possible. The other thing to remember is that when you're waiting for your ping delay, it only applies to that build. You can still build and edit other pieces freely. So like to reset a cone and edit the wall in front of it, you have to wait until the cone resets before you can start editing the wall. But doing the reverse, you can reset the wall and immediately start editing the cone, even on almost 200 ping. That's because the ping delay on the wall doesn't affect the cone. That also means that when double editing from above, instead of waiting for the cone to edit before you can start editing the floor, if you have good crosshair placement, you can grab the floor from under the cone, and since they have separate ping delays, you can edit both of them without waiting for the other. And rotating builds, pre-editing, and swapping materials all don't have ping delay, so feel free to do those however you want. But more than anything else, playing with high ping just makes everything you see a lie. You don't see what's currently happening, you see what happened in the past. So if someone's breaking your wall and you want to pre-fire them, by the time you see the wall is broken, it was actually already broken some time ago. And then it takes more time for your shot to reach the server. So instead of having 150 milliseconds to hit a pre-fire, you actually have 150 minus whatever your ping is. Same thing for why your shots are sometimes negated. You shoot someone you can see, but they don't take any damage. What really happened is they've already protected themselves before you shot them, but you can't see that until the information travels to your PC. And when you get shot after you've reset an edit or after you've already run around a corner, they shot while you were still visible, but the information didn't get to you until after you had protected yourself. Now this is where I'm supposed to tell you how to overcome and prevail against these obstacles despite your ping. But yeah, there's not really a big solution for this one other than just being aware of it, so you can go for pre-fires less or work on your reaction time so you're able to reset faster. At the end of the day, there are things you can do to not be affected by ping as much, but ping is still going to disadvantage you all the time. It is what it is. Oh, and by the way, the in-game ping indicator is often inaccurate. To find your actual ping, just Google AWS ping test. Amazon Web Servers is what Fortnite servers run on. And until next time, farewell.